All right. I see a face today. One of my buds coming back from nowhere. I don't know where he's been. I'm not going to say he was in jail, and we're not recording this, this radio show just yet. But if he's an escaped prisoner, he's a pretty smart guy and found himself a good girl and got himself a family. And you know what? So there's hope for everybody.
There
So
is. That's it. Yeah, the poster child for hope too.
loved your video. It's already got a couple hundred views on it. You know, that this whole thing's going to go, man. You're funny as hell. And it's like, send me those bad boys, because it's like I told my neighbor across the street, I said, I'm all about collaborative stuff. And when the big pie hits, we're all about it. Yeah. Good change on your back screen there, and sharing and just like promoting. And when if and when the big payday hits, everybody gets paid. We're good. And so not that we don't like to have any kind of extra income, but hey, it just gives us more freedom to do more of what we're doing. Right. So
That's it. It's just a vehicle.
it's just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. Wealth. I tell you, Aaron, one of the interesting things I found when I first got certified as a trainer way back in the day before radio, I trained these two really wealthy cats. And I learned it was such a good lessons for me, because these guys were both multimillionaires, and they were both really great guys. In case they were watching this, I love the guys, but and they know who they are, but they were at that point, they were very unhappy men, and the wealth just gave more problems to their whole life. And so it's just like,
New devil.
well, it's just a new perspective. With great wealth comes great responsibility. And so that's that, man. So glad to have my man, Aaron Murphy, back. We're going to talk about, I'm going to call this, Aaron, before we get started on this recording, because I cut these segments up now.
Yep.
Is if you haven't seen them yet, you will. And then it just, so people can kind of get, if they want to jump in and talk, but I'm calling this managing life and balance. And I got the balance out of your bio. And then, you and I talk, we're just going to frickin' riff, and like we always do. So go whatever direction you want to go. First segment is, this is your life. And then, do you have 3 specifics you want to talk about? You just tell me what you want to talk about. We'll just roll. I mean, it's easy. So
You and I can
exactly.
run the whole thing off just playing off each other. So
Yeah, no doubt. That's just have fun, and just like the videos. And again, I really appreciated that. And I just knew, I'm like, man, you're a talented cat. So it's just like, let's have some fun with it. That's the whole thing about the dad talk, the village theme that I'm working with and creating.
yeah,
We need more positive role models and guys who are experiencing good things, because in my experience through the YouTube 7 months that I've been immersed in this thing, I've somehow, the algorithm likes to send me relationship video people who talk about how nobody can get a date, how men hate women, how women hate men, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh man, it's a change. Really, the world has changed a lot. And so it's like, we're going in a different direction with the dad thing. And I do, you're a dad, you've got 4 kids. It's like, listen, with a good father figure in kids' lives, nothing's guaranteed, but at least they got a shot. Right. I mean, so
that's the hope. That's the hope. Yeah, I got a 15-year-old daughter that hasn't talked to me for 2 months because I called her on her shit. So,
well, oh, well,
yeah.
That's the way it goes. I mean, when she's 25, she'll thank you for that.
probably.
I guarantee it. Oh, no doubt. I mean, I've had, because our girls now are 36 and 27. And so believe me, there were some knockdown dragouts that typically I always won, but because you're the freaking boss. You're writing the check, right? If you're writing the check, you're the boss.
Yeah, unfortunately, being divorced, I have an ex that enables her to hide from the discussion.
Well, and that's part of the dad talk thing, and not to slam. And I said that in the first video, we're not here to bash, but on the other side of things, you have to have a cooperative, because I had the same thing, man. And it's like, you've still got to have a relationship with your ex because you created a human being together. And however it turns out, we can talk about all this. Let's get rolling here. Let's do this thing, man. Welcome to the Tom Matt Show, everybody. We lay on the couch and we just lay it out. Let's go.
Oh, good.
All good.
Real deal relatable.
Yep. And that is not going to work right there because I can't see my button. Trying a new thing here for my notes because of the video stuff.
Go get rid of that handset. Get that out of here.
I couldn't see it. Oh, you're just for the noise.
Recording a podcast. So, all right.
Ready to go?
No more dingling.
All right, brother. Let me get this moved up here like that. All right, let's rock this bad boy. Last week, Brock was back. Trends you need to know in real estate. Check that one out. That was like his, I don't know, 17th visit. And we're all here just to help coach up on different areas of life, and real estate is massive. And so Brock is our guy, and we trust him implicitly. And, you know, he's one of our sponsors, and that's that. I mean, helped us so much. It's just crazy. My guest today, Aaron Murphy, has been with me for a long time. We've been buddies for a long time. Aaron goes back to the days of Boomers Rock, back to the days of all kinds of different things. And recently he put out a really cool video and caught my eye. And it's like, you know, when you have friends in the world, everybody, and you just, you know, I don't know how it is for the women, but for men, when you have a true friendship with another man, it's like, it's just like bros talking to bros. And so it's like, yeah, exactly. So, you know, when I reached out to Aaron, it's been several years actually. Well, COVID did a lot of different things too. It's like, we got to get you back. And we always had a really great connection. And, you know, he's a very talented guy. Aaron is a passionate designer, professional architect, consultant, advocate for aging in place for your own community. And back in the Boomers Rock days, that's what we talked about, was about aging in place and how to build your home around that, and in your remodeling or all of that. He's been presenting at national, international level for long time, licensed architect, certified aging in place specialist. And that was the gist of what he was on for the show previously. And it may still be, but you know, he's a multi-dimensional, versatile cat who just sent me the coolest dad talk, our new little thing we're doing on YouTube. And so, you know, we're all going through it, everybody. We're all going through it. Let's talk to my man. We're going to have some fun. Who knows where we're going to wind up with this one, but I love talking to smart people and I love talking to my friends. And so let's rock this bad boy. Welcome back. He's in it. I'm probably going to butcher this name, but Paulsbo. Is that Paulsbo, Washington?
That's not bad. Paulsbo, yeah.
Okay. Paulsbo, Washington. Thanks, Aaron. Okay. Aaron Murphy, my brother from another one. I got brothers from another mothers everywhere. This one's in Paulsbo, Washington. Welcome back to the show. Going to call this one Managing Life Balance. What's happening, Aaron? How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Been a while. It's been a hot minute, but like you said, I mean, even just getting ready for this thing, we got on the call like we'd had coffee last Sunday. It was great. So fun to hit record and catch up.
Yeah, well, let's get caught up. Let's talk about the fam. You're doing well. You have the lucky for you, maybe. you got 4 teenagers, but hey, talk about the family. Go for it. This is your life. You know,
no worries. Yeah. So yeah, I remarried at 40 something, early 40s. So we each had 2 kids. Now we have 4 teenagers and 4 aging parents on top of that, and I've never been stupider. It's fantastic. I mean, all you have to do is ask the 4 teenagers that know everything, or ask the 4 parents that assume you're still a child and have no good ideas, even in the profession of aging in place as a licensed architect. Nobody takes my advice right now. It's fabulous.
Oh my God. That's so hilarious. It's like, well, you got this guy, he's had like, he's got all this education, he's got all this experience, and you still don't listen to him. Huh. Imagine that.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Just ask my family. Yeah.
God, dude. So talk about your wife sounds like an amazing lady. How did you guys, how did that happen? I don't know if that was before or after I think it was, you guys had get married after we had last
Yeah,
talked.
I don't know how
did
many
that
years
happen?
it's been, Tom. Great story, actually. So we met on Match. Okay. And I don't know if you know this. So on Match, you have to put in an age range as a guy, the girl you're looking for, an age range and a height range. Okay. And I'm 6'3", so I'd put in 5'7" to 5'11". All right.
Huh?
And this cute little blonde girl got a hold of me, and her second email to me in Match.com was, I can't get 2 years younger and I can't get 2 inches taller, but the other ones you're dating can't get any smarter.
I like it.
She had me. She had me. Yeah, that got the first
Smart.
date. It was fabulous.
Sweetness. I don't, fortunately for me, Sadie and I have been married now 22 years, and we reconnected, it's our second. And all of this dating stuff and all of this meeting people stuff, it blows my mind, dude. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I'm lucky I got out of the market when I did. I promise you that. We do have friends at 50 that are looking, and oh, God bless her. I mean, one of my joke hashtags to my wife is hashtag don't leave me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a work in progress, and advice to other people that are out there. And look at our dad talk. Go to the RFC channel, you guys. I'll give you all that stuff later here in the second segment. But we're putting more and more of this kind of other side of relationships up, because there is a huge population of, well, the younger boomers, the Gen Xers, and then millennials as well, who are going to go through a lot of what we've already gone through. And that's the whole point of what we do with radio and video and all. It's just giving you some tips and some ideas. So, man, what did you learn from that whole, at least you got something good out of it.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I guess tech is what it is, and it has its pros and cons, right? But yeah, we're coming up on 6 years married, 9 years together. So the kids met when they were 5 to 9, and now they're, whatever that is, 14 to 18. I've got one turning 18 today. So been a good ride. And we both realized, we both have parents that have been married 50 years. So we understand that this is what it is. And it's not always easy. Of course it's not. But like you said, you have other shows about that. But
Sure.
Yeah, stable home life makes for a great career, great chance to move forward and progress at work, and do what we do best and come home and be a great dad too.
Aaron Murphy's our guest today, everybody. Managing life balance. Let's talk about, we got a couple minutes before we're going to go to the first break. Let's talk about your parents. You have 4 parents between the 2 of you. Talk about that a little bit, and how you manage that, because that's good advice. You're almost 50 years old as we record this, as you said in your video today on our RFC channel.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Tell everybody, some of the tips that you've learned and the minefield that you walk through every day.
Sure. Well, as an aging in place specialist, which is a National Association of Home Builders thing, which I have on top of being a licensed architect, what I do, I try to pay attention when I visit. I try to kind of have a checklist in my head of what's changed for my folks. Yeah, you see them twice a year or 3 times a year. Luckily, they live close enough that we could drive there in a day. But you're always looking to make sure they have, social connectivity, make sure they have access to medical if they need it. Can one of them still drive to their favorite doctor? And then around the house, what I'm looking at is mobility stuff. right? How are they changing? I'm a non-occupational therapist, but we will hire one and bring them on to the design team when that's the right thing to do. Or sometimes they might already have one, and then that person comes to us for a remodeling solution. So the other part, Tom, just from a experience, although nobody takes my advice, as I mentioned earlier, I try to peel the onion. I feel that usually the truth is 3 levels deep. And so I have to stay in a conversation with active listening long enough to get to true truths. And so, usually I've learned that if I can use my ears and my mouth that God gave me proportionately, good to go, right?
Let's leave it there, because I want to come back to the truths and being an active listener. Aaron Murphy's my guest today, everybody. It's been a long time. Aaron is a great resource for us because he's an aging in place architectural specialist. Forever Home. We'll talk about all of these things. We'll talk about all of the peeling back of the onion, because that's where we need to go with this. You're listening to the Tom Matt Show. Managing life, balance. My buddy, Aaron Murphy. I'm Tom Matt. Right on, brother.
Cool. Do you do it with video or just audio?
Oh, yeah. Oh no, I got the video going, and I'm recording the video. You'll see the video, and it'll be all chopped up, and it's actually, and I edit up a couple of the pieces, and then the rest of it, I just put the Zoom. I do both though. I do both the gallery view and the speaker view, so that people can choose what they want. It's kind of amazing how many people they listen. I think they really listen more than they watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. All right. I got a read to do here. Where's my notes that I got all scrambled all over the place? See, this whole thing's not going to work for me. I got to do it different. All right, here we go. I'm always trying to improve my process.
Good for you. Constant learner. That's one great key to.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, okay, here we go. Second segment of the Tom Matt Show, sponsored by Craig Stiles, Ameriprise Financial. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Craig is the bomb. His 800 numbers, 1-800-528-1355. His local number is 517-483-4893. His email is craig.stiles@ampf.com. You can always go to the bottom of our homepage, everybody. And I have those banners down there at the bottom for several of our sponsors and our friends that we want to try to help out. Please go there. As a matter of fact, I'll try to get Aaron's too, so that we can link back to him and put him on our homepage too, because he's a good guy. Our guest today, Aaron Murphy. Craig Stiles, full disclosure, as you guys have heard me say 1,000,000 times, okay? At least 500,000 times. We have all of our retirement zone savings with Craig, with Ameriprise. That was a big, big decision for us. We did not take that lightly. And I am so glad that we did that, because it's helped me we've got a lot going on with the media company, with Boomer Truck Media and the radio show and the video stuff and all the, I mean, it's crazy. And it's good crazy. I'm not complaining at all, but it's like not having to worry about that with a Craig Stiles from Ameriprise is the way to go. His offices are located at 2400 Lake Lansing Road, Suite B, as in B as in more brilliant, Lansing, Michigan. Here are some of the stations in and out of the network have carried us, did carry us. I'm grateful to any radio station that carried the show one time. That's fine. It's all good, because radio changes all the time. And then the podcast comes along. Okay. So we've got WGHN 92.1, beautiful Grand Haven, Michigan, on the lakeshore. They were the first to ever put us on broadcast radio. And I'm so grateful to Will Team and Wendy Hart for doing that for us, giving us the confidence to know that we were, broadcast radio material. WJM 1240 AM in Lansing, Michigan is the big flagship for the Michigan Talk Network, where we're on there's 40 plus stations in the network. We're not on all of them, but we're on a bunch of them. And we hope that you can hear our voice through that. We were on WGRW 1340 AM in Grand Rapids for a long, long time. WKLQ 1490 in Muskegon, Whitehall, WYPV FM 94.5, Mackinac City, the Upper Peninsula. Maybe people in Wisconsin are hearing us. And of course, we've got our PBS affiliate at Michigan State University, WKAR News Talk, AM 870. Any station want to carry our content, you do the reads. If you're carrying us, I didn't say your call letters, send us a note, TomManshow.com, to the contact box, and away you go. Remember, Craig Stiles, the thing about Craig, it's Decideri Analytics. He created that algorithm back in the day before algorithm was a cool word. So it's been a while, and that's what makes him the perfect fit for individuals, because you've got, everybody's different. And we'll talk to our guest today, Aaron Murphy, about different people and different choices and different paths that you can follow. So please remember that. And also, I want to lastly plug the Michigan Talk Network, Steve and Ivy Gruber, and thank them profusely for what they've done for us, and which is a lot. And I am very, very grateful for all of that. I'm grateful to everyone who listens to the show and our guests, like a busy guy like Aaron Murphy, who's back with us, and he's my bud, been on the show several times back in the day. We've known each other for a long, long, long time. Aaron is he's a specialist. He's an architect who designs aging in place solutions, forever home. Let's talk about managing life and balance there, my man. You have the blended family going on. We did that. That was a nice talk. If you want to see some of more, Aaron's going to send me more videos too. He's got one up there on our Dad Talk RFZ thing going on. But let's talk about that, because you were talking about truths and occupational therapists with your parents and peeling the onion. Let's peel the onion a little bit. Your services that you offer, what do people need to know about this just in general? I mean, just as an educational thing, they want to get a hold of you for some other contacts across the country. But what is it that you would really like to give to people just to start off this new interview with you? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think my biggest piece of advice to anybody listening, whether we're talking about you because you're 50 plus, whether you're talking about you because you're 40 and mom's 80, doesn't matter. Start the conversation. Okay. The biggest thing to overcome is the denial of aging. Okay. And we have to get over the ideas around ageism and the stereotypes and my wife's 52 and she's a beautiful little blonde lady. And guess what? So was Blanche on the Golden Girls with her gray perm, and they all must need to live together to survive because probably the men all died. Like, we're coming out of a generation, Tom, that television told us 50 was put out to pasture, right? What are you good for? Horseshoes and glue? But now go look at the Sex and the City reboot. We're redefining what it means to be 50 to 100. We're living a third longer than we did coming out of World War II. But unfortunately, we're building houses the same way. And that's the mistake. That's the gap. If I could disrupt, biggest builder in the nation, right? Like a H.R. Horton or a Quadrant or whatever it is in your area, builders are missing the boat. Well, I don't care if you call it aging in place. I don't care if you call it universal design. Forget the vocabulary. What this is about is you starting a conversation with your family about how you can stay independent, autonomous, happier with your pet, your garden, your friends, and your family, because not planning is how somebody falls and breaks a hip and ends up going to surgery, rehab. Suddenly the house doesn't work. All we can do is Band-Aids. Or you got your brother in Pennsylvania picking assisted living for you. That is what the cost of denial smells like as you chase it down the path. That's what I don't want.
Cost of denial. Cost of denial.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me recap a little bit of that here, because Aaron Murphy's with us, everybody. And this guy, seriously, if you you really need to have, these are tough conversations that we all need to experience with our parents, our grandparents, if you have it. If you're a younger person out there and go, oh, well, why do I need to listen to an aging in place? Let me tell you something right now, you guys, you younger millennials, like our oldest daughter is 36 years old. You need to understand that this is relevant, because not having these conversations can lead to a lot of problems. Aaron, set this up where you want to go with this thing. I got a minute to go before we go to break, and I want to get your input. Please set this up, and then we'll go to break.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, so we can prove to you statistically that home ownership, okay, the environmental stress of being a homeowner, a good kind of stress, use it or lose it, your mind and your body. 7 to 8 years I can add to your own longevity of your lifespan. There's one. Number two, compared to the cost of denial, me keeping you in your home for that, I don't know, 12 years extra, I'd save you $500,000 in retirement. Did your financial planner tell you that? If not, tell them to call me. We'll educate them too.
Okay, leave it right there, because that's perfect. That's why we want to have that. And I apologize to my listeners out there, because a guy like Aaron Murphy is this talent that he has, the knowledge that he has, and the relationship that he and I have. Guarantee you I'm going to have him back, because he knows what he's talking about. Tom Matt Show, Aaron Murphy, coming from Paul's Bow, Washington, managing life balance. We'll be right back. Beautiful. Here we go. Aaron Murphy's with me today. Paul's Bow, Washington, managing life and balance. This segment of the show is my segment. This is where I give myself some plugs. The simplest way to connect with the Tom Matt Show is through our website, tommattshow.com. Please go there, check it out. YouTube and the new presence and the hashtag Dad Talks, the Village, coming up with all kinds of things, messages to our younger selves, which we'll get one of those from Aaron here in a second, in a fifth segment. All of these things are working and coming together. If your social media is whatever it is, we're on them all. And as a matter of fact, we're getting, believe it or not, we're going into TikTok, because I was advised that we're missing the boat. We need to market through there. And so we are, and it's coming slowly, but that's just going to be another way to connect with us and listen to people like an Aaron Murphy, or get our little videos, or get all of our little tips. That's what it's all about. Our mission is to build an engaged society and team and a family. We want to connect with all of you. So whichever social media works for you, please drop us a note. We return all messages, and I want your feedback. That's what makes the show strong. That's why we're going into pretty soon our 13th season. What makes everything work is you. It makes the guests. I just facilitate things. I'm just the guy who kind of, reaches out there and just loves to have chats and talking to people. It's all about you. The Refirement Zone, the RFZ, is all about community collaboration and cooperation. And that's the thing that we're doing with everything. It's all about collaboration. It's all about the cooperation, the 3 C's of sharing stories. And that's that. All right. Our show today, Managing Life Balance, with my friend Aaron Murphy. Been a while. Aaron is a passionate design professional, architect. Just gave us some really good tips on aging in place, your parents, your grandparents, you possibly. All right. So you peeled the onion back one layer. We're going to probably get 3 layers deep, like you said in the first segment. But I wrote down autonomous and happy. And what are the stats about people aging? How many people want to stay in their homes? I mean, I can't imagine that people really want to go into assisted living unless it fits the lifestyle, unless it's a lifestyle sort of thing.
Or eventually, Tom, it can be a safety issue. But to answer your question, I mean, the last solid AARP poll, 89% of people would prefer to age in place. And that means staying in the home of your choice. With what, as I said before, right? With the dog, the garden, the neighbors, the friends, the social life. That's what we all want. And does it apply to you? Okay, think about this. nobody comes to an architect. No one walks into my office if they're not typically 40. Otherwise, you're buying a first or a second time home, right? And that's what spec builders do. That's why they're not paying attention. Whole nother conversation about the fact that there's a demographic shift in what we're looking for in a home right now because of affordability. But to my point, nobody walks into my office if they aren't 40. So when I say, is this custom home potentially going to last you 30 years? They always say yes, because it's a big investment, right? Okay, then I get to talk about aging in place with everybody, because if you're going to be 70 in this house, let's talk about it. And I'd say 70% of what we do is called good universal design. It works just as well for my 4-year-old as it works for your 84-year-old. It's just good design, and good design disappears. We are not creating hospitals, okay? That's not what we're trying to accomplish. Now, the cool part is R&D on an individual product basis is really far in advance, right? There's a spoon that offsets the shaking of Parkinson's, and you can hold cereal with milk. How do they all go together? How do you know who's going to quarterback and concierge this thing that really understands the industry? Because all these individual silos don't yet talk to each other. And that's why I've chosen, because I happen to be the closet choir boy that doesn't mind the mic and the stage and the lights. So I'm okay going out and telling this story, being recorded. What I've done it from Chicago to Tokyo. I've been doing this for 15 years. Forever Home is just a renamed brand relaunch. That's all. I've been doing it as ADM architecture since 2009.
Yeah, you've got a long history with all of this. All right, so the hard discussions, 89% of people want to age in place, as you said. Help people understand how they start that process. How do we start that process about that? For me, I was thinking it's going to be on the financial side of things, but maybe that's not the right way of thinking. So what's your opinion? You've done this so many times.
Yeah.
What's your feedback on that? Starting the hard discussion.
Well, yeah, it's almost like starting a discussion about a will or any document that you start thinking legacy, right? If I can speak to you, Tom, about what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want this to play out, right? In front of your kids, in front of your grandkids. And that includes, Tom, we only sell two things. You sell a dream come true or a pain avoided. If you think you sell something else, you don't know sales. Okay, at the end of the day, it's emotional. Okay, don't care if you're selling lipstick or cruises or a knee brace. Pain avoided, right? So
Right.
If you can go into a conversation with your folks or your sibling or whoever it needs to be, and just say, how do you want this to play out? What is a perfect scenario for you? As a designer, I ask things like, what are your, let's just talk familial medical history. I would need to know if this forever home of yours that we're designing, did everyone on your mom's side go blind? Did everyone on your dad's side get Parkinson's? Okay, that's a good place to start thinking about design solutions. We've done everything from a grab bar by a toilet to a Hoyer lift that carries somebody in a gurney to the shower on the roof trusses. So it's not a question of what can or can't we do, it's what do and don't you need and wish for yourself.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, and then as you were talking about, if you give people the opportunity to avoid that $200,000 a year in assisted living with 7 to 8 years longer staying at home and saving $500,000 of your retirement zone savings.
Yep.
And I mean, I know the stats from back in the day that it was something along the lines of people in the last year and a half, and don't quote me on this, everybody, but people in the last year and a half of their lives statistically wind up dropping about $200,000 in their last year and a half because of assisted living and medical care and cost. Does that sound about right? Or is it a little low or?
Yeah, well, then that actually tips off one of the reasons I got into this whole thing, Tom, was, my grandmother lived in a split level home while she went from 5'9" to 5'2", went from traveling the world in retirement to trapped in a hospital bed and not knowing grandpa's name. The other half of it was I bought a car off Craigslist and two 63-year-olds brought me the car. Mom's car, 92, finally gave up the keys. Cool, where's she living now? Assisted living here next door to Polsbo. Do you mind if I ask what that costs? 150 grand out of pocket and 10 grand a month. And this was 17 years ago, right? So that's when I went, aha, let's invest in ourselves and invest in our homes and stay where we all said we wanted to stay anyway as our first choice.
Aaron Murphy's my guest today. Aaron, I'm going to carry this through. Joining us from Paulsbo, Washington, managing life and balance. I have notes from back in the day, everybody, that I'm going to bring up when we go into the next segment about Aaron's grandmother, because I have those notes right here next to me here. And we don't have enough time to jump into that now, but this is a perfect example of why you need to have these conversations, because, and I've been trying to do this with my own dad, and it's kind of a lost cause because he's an 85-year-old guy who is, pretty active and he's set in his ways. And as long as I don't get that bad phone call, okay, fine. But you know what? They need support. They want us to, he's still in his house. Yep. And that's the point, what we're talking about. When we come back, we'll talk more about this. Hard discussions. Aaron Murphy, my buddy, managing life, Paulsbo, Washington, Tom Matt Show. Beautiful.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Make that a little bit bigger. There we go. That there. Here we go. Fourth segment of the Tom Matt Show, sponsored by my bud Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams. Brock's an investor, can either give you an immediate cash offer for your home or set the deadline price. That's a old line, but it's still true to this day. And again, full disclosure, as I've said with our other sponsor, Craig, Brock, we utilize his services because we trust him implicitly. He helped us with Big House Holt. He helped us with Little House Lansing. Thank you, Mike Dedman, for that one. I always mention Mike because he was our buyer's agent for Little House Lansing, where I'm recording this episode with my friend Aaron Murphy today. Sell your home without hassles. Go find the trusting people who can educate you and figure it out, just like we're doing with Aaron today, everybody. Call Brock, 517-853-6408, 853-6408. Go online to kwsellingteam.com. That's kwsellingteam.com. Okay. Search Brock Fletcher, Google it, or as I said, go to the bottom of our homepage, tommattshow.com, which is actually a very, very nice site. We've put so much time and energy into that of the last 13 years, just refining things. Go there, bottom of the page, click through, boom, away you go. Now here's the super secret number, everybody. 517-303-3262. 517-303-3262. Text Brock. That's his cell phone. Tell him, I just heard Tommy on the radio, or I heard the podcast with Tommy, or I heard a reality real estate episode with him, which we have plenty on our website. We have Craig, the financial fitness. Both of those guys are our talent for this. I got to have my subject matter experts like Aaron Murphy today, aging in place specialist, architect, designer, dad, you name it. He does it all. Same thing with Brock. Same thing with Craig. You guys want to get a hold of our people because through our people, they can make your life better. Just like with Aaron Murphy today, my buddy. I'm so glad to get him back on the show. Managing life in balance. We're talking about those hard discussions, and we're starting to get into some monetary stats and other stats. And there are lots of stats get ready, because this guy knows the stats, because this is what he does. He has the hard discussions. He's gone into this thing. But the whole point was, in my notes, Aaron, your grandmother was a master's level bridge player. She had osteoporosis and Alzheimer's. Her house was broken. 47 years, and I've got an arrow going to 80. Is that about right? Does that set it up for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the lowdown. I don't know what the 47 to 80 was, but the point for, grandma was that she ended up in the middle level of a house that had stairs everywhere and didn't work. I was 22. I was graduating University of Washington in architecture school at the time. Didn't really want to know about grandma's hygiene. I wasn't ready for all that stuff, but architecture student, yeah, this house is broken. Every house that has stairs to showers and laundry rooms, and it's not going to work eventually, right? And what can we do to plan for that? Shoot, we draw houses all the time at our architecture firm that stack a couple closets, plan some power for later, and we can throw an elevator in when we're ready to. Again, the cost of that to stay home, stay in your family, community, et cetera, or the alternative, you'll blow 50 grand in 5 months at assisted living, or let's invest it in your home and you staying there.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point with all of this. And you've designed, I've looked at your website. I have ADM architecture up here, but I know that's the older one. Forever Home is the newer. You've been this design stuff. How much has it changed in the last 10 years? Because with technologies, I mean, everything has shifted and sped up. All right. So now you're building, you're remodeling homes for, you got to have solid bandwidth. You got to have solid Wi-Fi. You've got to have all of these new things. How much has it changed? How quickly is it continuing to change? Talk about that, please. So people are just a little bit more aware.
Sure. Yeah. And you and I could get lost, right? There's rabbit holes of information out there on the internet. And it's fascinating to listen to you talk the way you talk about your sponsors. What are they? Vetted, trusted individuals that are professionals at what they do. You can set it and forget it, right? That's what you look for. Look at Amazon. Okay, we're willing to spend the money, but we do like one-stop shopping. That's what Forever Home is about. Okay. Yes, Tom, there are doors. There's new things you can put on doors and retrofit that they open themselves, whether it's a swing door or a slider door. Yes, your phone can close your garage door from the airport when you forgot. Yes, your phone can remind you to take your meds. Yes, your phone can talk to your grandkids. That phone in your pocket or on your desk right now is smarter than the computers that landed Apollo on the moon. That phone is smaller than my dad writing software in the 70s with tear off paper and Computone green screens when a mainframe took up a space the size of your house. Everything is moving at light speed now, including our longevity compared to where we were 50 years ago. Medical and technical advance are in hyperspeed, right? Look at what AI has the potential to do, good, bad, or otherwise. So your question's completely valid. So Forever Home, we're actually going to create spec books, okay? Don't know if this is a perfect PC term yet. We'll work on this, but right now I would like to call them the go-go, the slow-go, and the no-go spec for your house. What products would you need? We're out building vetted relationships with vendors so that when you go buy stock plans, Forever Home will be the largest aging in place stock plan website in the US. There isn't a good one. And we'll have those relationships with Kohler and Toto and the elevator guy so that you can go one-stop shopping.
That's what I do, Aaron. Aaron Murphy's our guest today, everybody. That's what I do a lot of times with the students at the university, because I'm still spending a lot of time, even though I'm refired, I'm out there all the time doing my thing. But I tell students, it's like the connections. I have friends all over the place like you who can help open doors. What you just said is exactly spot on. You cut through all the clutter. It's like, this is how you save money, because you have a guy who has all the contacts, who has all the relationships, who can help you instead of piecemealing this thing and doing it yourself. If you try to build a house yourself, everybody, you're going to miss something. And I've gone through the design thing. Sandy and I built our house. We did it one time. That was the only time. And I will never do that again. It was more work. And those of you who are out there, and there's probably a lot of you that have built your own home through a contractor, you know what I'm talking about, right, Aaron? I mean, at least the builder that we had, they were very, very detail oriented. They're expensive. And that's the thing. They're expensive, but they did a great job and I didn't have to worry about anything. And their cost was spot on. They knew how much a nail cost.
Right.
They knew exactly how much drywall tape they would need for that house. I mean, that's exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah, or hire the fly by night, watch them cut corners, and then your solution falls apart, or then they come back and say, well, we didn't do this, and this, now it costs this much more. And so trying to save actually typically does expose you to end up feeling like an open checkbook, which isn't your goal, especially when you're trying to make life decisions in the second half.
Done this with at the university, being around large expenditure building projects where the building, they try to cut some corners here and there. Say it's a comm closet. That's part of my deal.
Yeah.
You cut that comm closet out of that floor, and guess what you just created? You created a bottleneck that could be a problem down the road that you don't even know. And I guarantee you, you will come back later and you will put that thing in and it will cost you 5 times as much, right?
Right. Yeah. And actually that's a great point. So any initial conversation that we have with a Forever Home client, ADM client, begin with the end in mind. Even if financially you need to do it in phases, let's draw it all the way through phase 6 so that you don't build phase 3 and forget about phase 2 needed to go first.
Exactly.
That's when you have to go backward to go forward. You spend another quarter just to be able to spend the next dollar. No, plan and visualize the long game and hire people that understand how to get you to phase 6.
That's absolutely right. You want, and listen to your experts. All right. You don't want to have to break out the checkbook and say, oh, by the way, we didn't bake in this cost for this. No, do it right the first time and save yourself a lot of headache and probably a ton of money down the road. Aaron, I'm going to take this through because we're going to come up on break here. 5th segment coming up. We're going to do the messages to our younger self as usual, which we're doing in the 5th segment. For those of you who are going to lose the 5th segment on the broadcast side, please go to the website, get the podcast, listen to these. They're always fun. I cut them out, put them up there. You're listening to the Tom Madge Show, Managing Life and Balance with my bud, Aaron Murphy from Paulsbo, Washington. We'll be right back. Sweetness. Exactly what like we talked about. I mean, it's just
jam all day, my man.
Freaking greatness. Yeah, all day. I absolutely, and I'm going to apologize even on the video here. It's like, I apologize to my long-term guests who are so good that, but you know, that's what happens sometimes, but I absolutely want to get you back in a rotation, even if it's every, 6 months or something, but, or you have a green light, you can come back. And I like the video stuff. I love doing the video stuff, the short clips. Send me those too, because you're funny as hell. And it's just greatness. All right, let's roll into messages time here. I'm going to do the read, and then I'm going to throw it to you for plug whatever you want, take as long as you want.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the messages. You got something you want to tell yourself? 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things?
First one would be time takes time.
Whatever you want to talk about. It's just one of those, like we're talking to younger people or your younger self, and something that you learned. It's like, just trying to save you a couple steps here, everybody. Does that's how we frame it up. It's like, listen, just you can just do whatever you want.
That implies they would listen to my advice, which we've already established nobody does.
Well, at least you tried.
I'll sleep okay knowing I put it out there.
Right, exactly. All right, here we go. If you're a nonprofit, school, church, or youth group, God bless you. I want to help you out. Hit us up. We're here to do a speaking engagement. I'll facilitate a speaking engagement with, if we get a remote guest like an Aaron Murphy, my guest today, or Craig Stiles or Brock Fletcher, or any of those folks. We want to be of service to our community. Remember, I talked about the 3 C's of community, collaboration, cooperation. These are pro bono speaking engagements where I would come in and facilitate this whole gig for you to try to help you make some money. All right. Now, again, full disclosure, you got to apply to our website. You got to go to the contact box on the website. You got to tell us what's going on. If you want to pay us, that's fine. That's cool. But this is not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to put the outreach out there. And I love helping small business. I love interviewing entrepreneurs, guys like Aaron Murphy, our guest today. They know it because they've lived it and they're doing it. Okay. Entrepreneurship is the ballsiest. It's the best way to learn life. Let me tell you. So send us a note, do what you got to do. We will help you get to where you want to go. All right, Aaron, before we do messages, let's get all the contact info for Forever Home, ADM Architecture, whatever, whoever.
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Forever Home, easiest thing to do. Like you were working on maybe TikTok, but all the other social media platforms, but start at the website. It's foreverhome-us.com. If you're interested in what we do design-wise as an architecture firm, that is ADM, like Aaron David Murphy, and then a hyphen, and then the word architecture.com. Office number, if you want to get a hold of me here, 360-881-0282. And yeah, one of those ways, or come talk to me on social media. I'd love to interact.
We'll have it all on the recap, everybody. You know that we do that every time. All of our links transfer over to Spreaker, which then blasts everything out to all of the big podcast aggregators and our website. So there's multiple ways of doing this. We're trying to make our guests and our subject matter experts available to you. Please reach out to any of these people, the Brocks, the Craigs, the Aarons, any of our folks. And you know how many we have, so many we've done over the last 12 years. It is crazy. And they're all really good people. That's what I like to do. I love connecting people with other good people so that you don't get ripped off. So let's talk about messages to my younger self with Aaron. Now, Aaron Murphy is one of the funniest guys I know. I mean, I haven't talked to him. He sends me a video. I mentioned this little story we're doing with this past weekend. We were just having this quick call. Guy has me roaring. I said, man, you got to send that to me. You got to, and it's up now. It's up on the YouTube channel, on the RFZ channel, you guys. It's like this, your next career, your refirement career might have to be stand-up comedy, because with the stories you got between the parents and the teenagers and your wife, it's like these are gold, man. It's so.
I'm a walking comedy show. That's.
So the message to your younger self, I've kind of explained it to you. You know, it's become kind of a new little phenomenon on our show and on our YouTube channel, but it's just advice to other people, younger people. If you can walk in our shoes when we were 30 years ago for us, 20 years ago for Aaron, and take some of the lessons that we had to go through. Like, I mean, for example, getting thrown in jail. I mean, I got thrown in jail a couple of times. Yeah, for sure. I mean, don't get thrown in jail. It's not a fun place. It's not cool. Okay. There's my message to you guys, but I want the message from my buddy, Aaron Murphy. Okay, Aaron, take as long as you want. We got the whole segment to talk about this.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I think especially you speak to young business people, right? Young entrepreneurs, small business owners. My dad retired by selling his third business. I currently have 7 LLCs and 3 active businesses, and that's probably just in the blood. I mean, my grandfather literally at 94, my dad was the fiduciary, said, hey, Dad, you need to, sell the Christmas tree farm. And Carl's response at 94 was, cool, what are we buying next? Right? Learn from your mentors. I think that is one of my pieces of advice. Sure, be a teenager. Don't listen to your mom and dad because you know everything. But eventually come back in your mid-20s and start asking questions of the people that are 20 and 30 years ahead of you. Reach up. Reach out. There is no stupid question. I tell everybody in my office, our staff, ask every dumb question once. Please don't ask it twice because it means you weren't taking notes. But ask, get advice from those who have been there. Like you said, Tom, I mean, you know, you and I both have probably been millionaires twice, which actually means you lost it once, right? There's a shit ton of lessons in losing. There's way more lessons. Michael Jordan would say the same thing. I learned more from the shots I missed than the shots I made, right? So learn from other people's failures. It can save you a lot of time.
That's an excellent, excellent message. And if you can reach up, because I guarantee you guys that the older generations that are out there, they want to help you and you can help them as well. I learned so much, Aaron, from all of the students. I met a young man today who's a PhD student and he's traveling at the university. He's from North Carolina and he's at Michigan State for the summer doing some studying. And I told him, I said, I love talking to people like you young people, because you're so smart on all of these things. And to say you and think that you know everything is absolutely just a huge mistake. So thank you for that message to our younger self. Ask good questions, look for mentors. Don't be afraid to reach up and build those relationships, just like you're talking about with your business. All right, let's get back to the business side of things, because I think this is very important for us to talk about some more of these stats, because you're the walking stat machine when it comes to this aging in place stuff, being in the position that you are. And we're very grateful to have you as a guest and a friend. Share some more of those just illuminating stats that people probably gloss over if they ever do see them in a magazine or a book or hear them. People tune them out. What are some of the stats that might just shock people's world?
Oh, gosh, you know, I think they said by 2036, the new longevity as an economy will reach 36 billion in the US alone. Okay, so from a business perspective, and that's actually Forever Home is born out of, I've taught B2C once a month on stage to the consumer about aging in place for 15 years. Well, Tom, we're at this spot in this quote unquote silver tsunami, whatever you want to call it, right? People are now there's so many people getting older, living longer, that we have had to switch to B2B. We want to train the trainer. There needs to be 1,000 Aaron Murphys, one in Atlanta, one in DC, one in San Diego. So that's what Forever Home is doing on the coaching side. I think if you wanted to shock your listener, maybe just knowing that a third of people over 65 have fallen once, and half of those, it's their second or more falls. And so doing simple stuff.
Why is that important for people to understand about falls? Because I know where you're going with this, but
Yeah.
go ahead. You tell everybody what you know.
Well, okay. So yeah, even my grandfather, who lived to 98, the beginning of his decline, you talked about your dad being stubborn, right? He was mowing the lawn at 96, fell and hit his head on a rock, mowing the lawn at 96. The fall is usually the start of a decline, whether it's recoverable or not. Go find 1,000 anecdotal stories. 998 of them will tell you mom fell, and that's how the story starts.
I know the stats. And here's the thing, everybody. Typically people, you think that people fall and break their hip. Actually, what happens, and I've read this, is statistically what usually happens through osteoporosis or osteopenia is you break your hip and fall. That's what happens. Or you stumble and fall. Those are the things that come out of nowhere. I mean, so it's something that's unforeseen. Another reason why this aging in place and having somebody like an Aaron in your Rolodex is very helpful, because if you can eliminate as many of these trip hazards, and I'm a safety guy because of working at the university, Aaron, all those years, I'm a huge safety guy around the house, cords, ladders, all of these things. As you get older, everybody, you got to be really aware that, hey, do I want to climb that ladder and clean those gutters?
Right.
I'm never doing that again. Never. No. The biggest problem that people have at home is ladder falls. That's where most people at their demise, even younger people, right?
Right. And even, a spec house designed by some massive builder, right? The bathroom's 5x8. The door swings in, it's 2'6" wide, should be 3.0 for wheelchair or other mobility. But falling in the bathroom, which is where most falls happen in wet rooms, you just cost an EMT 90 seconds getting the door off by not having a pocket door, because you've blocked the door. Not a lot of places you can fall and not end up outside the tub blocking the door. Design matters to safety. And spec builders aren't doing it, which is why you all have 95% of the population's stock of homes that need help.
Give us the website and phone number one more time. Then we're
Yeah,
gonna wrap
sure.
this thing. Go ahead.
foreverhome-us.com, or give me a holler at the office, 360-881-0282 outside of Seattle and Paulsbo.
I will absolutely put all of this information in the recap. Like always, everybody, I want to thank my friend Aaron Murphy for coming back in, sending us a video, sending us more videos, little tips and stuff. Go to the RFZ channel on YouTube. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you. As we always say every week, always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thanks to my friend Aaron Murphy for coming back, spending the time with us. Sandy, Craig, Brock, Samantha Medved, and of course, the legend, Mitch Anderson. Thank you guys so much for what you do. We love you so much. We appreciate you. Tom Mitch is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Thank you so much. Remember, Aaron Murphy is the man. Hallsbo, Washington. Managing life and balance. We're out. Damn, that was so freaking easy.
One take, no redos.
Dude, that's how we do it. That's how we roll, man.
Living the dream, bro.
Project. All right. Cool, man. I'll let you go. I'll let you know when this thing's up and about. If you get moments of clairvoyance and you want to send me some more of your little videos, because I want more and more men to share stories. I'm going to be doing mine, of course. And it's just really, it's a fun venue, and I'll be happy to put on the shorts. I don't usually put a description in there, but if you want me to promote the business, we can. You could say your business.
You do you. I'm not coaching you on how to do you.
I know, and I appreciate that. I was just letting you know. I just appreciate people's time. Yeah. But you got so many good stories, and it's like, hey, let's just share it, help people get better, man. That's all it is.
And as I start building out our full year of coaching, the anecdotals will come as I have to unload that script out of my head. So,
and when you put that on your video and I put that up on YouTube, you can always go back and we can look at those and have some great laughs, because that'll be hilarious.
Sure. All
right, man.
That was killing me, man, that you had the notes from last time. That's fabulous.
Oh man, I've got files. I have extensive files on all my guests, on everybody, even the ones that were one hitters. I have them all. And so, yeah, I mean, I respect that. I want to make the show as best we can and respect my guests and the time that you guys give. And so that's just the way I have always done it. And thank you. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Take care.
Yeah. You're welcome. Aaron Murphy's the bomb. Let me do a quick read again on Aaron. Passionate design professional, consultant, advocate for aging in place, your own community. I'm going to leave it right there, because it's like some of the stats that he shared with us on the amount of money and the number of years that you can save by aging in place. It's unbelievable. And if you can just do a few modifications to your home, existing home, find another home, maybe through a Brock Fletcher, because you listen to this and you go, I got all these stairs. We got stairs in Little House too. I mean, just take all of this stuff, food for thought. And I appreciate everybody. And please check out the Dad Talk. The Dad Talk and our messages to our younger selves are becoming very, very popular on the RFZ channel. Please check those out, because if you want to contribute, the very first one I did with Eric, I have all the listing and the details on how to do the recordings and how to get them to us. Please go there. We want dads and moms, but dads especially, to share good knowledge on raising our kids. Thank you guys so much for viewing, listening, doing what you do. We love you so much. We appreciate you all. And you know what? Another one in the books, baby. Peace out. Love you.